Good evening and welcome to Omnibroslivve. I am OmniDog. Thank you for joining us. Heyo, and I am joined as usual with my co-host Omar from Near Mint Condition. Omar, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing okay, man.
You hanging in there?
Hanging in there. Just needed something normal to do. I guess if this is as normal as you get for us.
I don't think anything involving me is normal, but if this is what you want to consider some normalcy, I'm glad to be able to provide that for you.
Says a lot about me, huh? Thanks. Yeah. So I'm doing okay. Hanging in there.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I know what you're going through, and I'm so sorry for you. And I'm definitely glad that you posted what you did in the page today. And I know you got a lot of support.
Yeah, it was nice. I feel like the community is very tight. So yeah, yeah. So I lost my pup of 17 years, and sucks. But you know, you gotta go. It's just a part of life, and it's rough, like explaining it to the kids, and I think in the end, I think they took it better than I did. Because she was like my kid. So anyway, I don't want to be a downer. So
no, I totally get it.
Why don't you say a kind word from our sponsor?
Okay. Well, our show is yeah, I'm going to see if I can say it right. Our show is brought to you by the fabulous InStockTrades.com, where you can get up to 50% off your books. They come in bomb-proof packaging.
Almost.
I know, darn it. $50 or more gets you free shipping in the United States. Fabulous customer service, and they also have a loyalty discount. If you order 1 week, the following week you'll get an extra 2%, sometimes 3% off your books. So please patronize our wonderful sponsor, In Stock Trades, also known as IST. So we can get this show on the road because, speaking of IST, they're the ones that we always get our books from. And we've got hauls, reads, and we're going to talk about Black Panther because it's Black Panther month. Now that the movies come out, that's all anybody's talking about in the nerd community and in the normal community. Everybody's talking about Black Panther.
In the normal community. So you don't see us as normal. In the
I do not.
Muggle community. Okay.
Right, the Muggles.
All right.
So
first of all, how do you feel, man? Like I think you've had a show on every day for the last 10 days? Like 10 days of Jess on YouTube. No, and no one's gonna complain because people love you, man.
Oh well, I appreciate that. I hope people aren't getting sick of me. I just realized that I have done. Yeah, Sam's right. I have done 5 days in a row. I did Thursday, Omnibros. Friday was my interview with Sherlock, which was fun. Saturday was my interview with Fariha, which was fun. Then yesterday I did Omnibros with Luis. And tonight I'm doing Omnibros again. I hadn't even paid attention, but yeah, I've done it I didn't do it Wednesday night. So yeah, I've done it 5 straight nights.
Wow, 5 straight nights. How does your wife think there's another woman on the side? Or I feel like that would be a lot easier to explain. Like I have a second family.
Right.
I'm just meeting with a bunch of dorks.
Right. Yeah, no, really, sweetie. The people seem to like to hear me talk about comic books on YouTube. Honest.
I think it's great, man. I've saw your Sherlock interview. I haven't seen Sunday's episode, and then I haven't seen the second part of the Fangirl interview. So I'm looking forward to hearing those.
Oh, well, I appreciate you watching those. Yeah, Sherlock was great. I really enjoyed talking to him. He's got such a positive, enthusiastic attitude that I really enjoyed talking to him.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So what kind of books did you haul, man?
I hauled Jack Diddley Wah, as a matter of fact. I hauled nothing. The Big Goose Egg, Zilch.
Wow. Okay.
Well, how about you?
Well, I'm trying to find my books where they are. I think I had already put them up because I was going to do a review of. I ended up getting the complete from In Stock Trades because they had the extra percentage off on Fantagraphics books. I got the rest of the Love and Rockets. Remember when I talked to you guys last Monday from one of the hotel rooms I was at, and
Mm-hmm.
I was talking about how I'm not really digging the first book of Love and Rockets, and I'm sitting there and I'm quoting Arrested Development. I think I made a little big mistake
I've made a huge mistake.
because I went ahead during that sale. My wife got me volumes 1, 2, and 3 for Christmas, and during that Fantagraphics sale, I went ahead and got the rest. And I'm reading volume 1, and I'm like, man, I'm kind of slogging through it. I'm really pushing myself to read this. And luckily I think there were people on the chat that were saying just stick through it, wait till after volume 1, because I'm reading in the chronological Fantagraphics complete collection order. So I'm gonna, I'll give it about the third volume to see if I made a big mistake or not. Because I keep hearing great things about it. Like people like Terry Moore, Strange in Paradise, raves on about this wonderful series. So
Yeah.
we'll
So
see.
you've read through 2 books now?
One because I
One
had to
book.
stop.
Okay.
Yeah, I stopped reading that so we can do our Black Panther homework. Because I'm
Oh,
a good
right.
kid. So
Exactly.
these are pretty thick books, and I've only read a few of these, and it's been years since I read the Priest run. So we'll get to that in a few.
Yeah, these
But
are thick books.
so that's what I read. I read the Love and Rockets Volume 1, and then I read some manga, caught up on X-Men, and what else did I read? I read East of West Volume 2. Been reading that, the Hickman run. Have you read any of that?
I've
It's a
read
great.
I've read the 2 hardbacks, oversized hardcovers that have come out. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm thrilled about that. So, and speaking of Hickman, did you hear the news? Marvel's finally going to release the final Shield
Yeah, the
issues.
Architects of Forever finally.
Finally, yeah, maybe they can put that into a nice little oversized hardcover.
That'd be
So
great.
we will see. We will see. I'm hoping that happens
Yeah.
because I'm Hickman is one of those guys that I really enjoy, like everything he's written, but it's got layers upon layers. Sometimes I need to give myself a break and reread that stuff.
Mm.
That's what I did with East and West. Like I had read Volume 1 when it came out, and then I reread it when Volume 2 came out, and I found things that I didn't see the first time.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was
I think I've read volume 1 3 times and I pick up new stuff every time.
so I was traveling last week, so I think that's what I took with me, the Black Panther books, and there was something else that I end up picking up. I can't. Oh wait, there it is. I did pick something up. Dorkins, milk and cheese.
Oh,
You
nice. I
ever read
love
this?
milk and cheese. Yeah.
Yeah, so Dark Horse did a complete milk and cheese collection a few years ago, and I finally got it. I found it at a store. It was like $10, and I'm like, I think it's time I own that because it's not for some reason in my library. Like I had one of the trade paperbacks before, but this one, you know.
I love milk and cheese.
Yeah, same man. I I was a big fan of it when I was working at the comic book store. There was a guy that turned me into that series, and I dug it. So
Yeah. That and Eltingville are my 2 favorite Dorkin creations.
I haven't read that.
Oh my gosh, I love Eltingville.
Oh yeah, what's that about?
The Eltingville Club, it's about 4 nerdy guys that are part of a pop culture club. They're teenage losers and they constantly bickering and fighting with each other and
Oh, like milk and
opening
cheese.
packages of Wonder Bread to get the trading cards out of them, and
Oh,
they
awesome.
they collect absolutely everything under the sun that's nerdy, and they just are such caricatures, such stereotypes, and he just rips fandom culture apart, and it's so great. I love it.
What is the name of that again?
Let me get it just a sec.
Yeah, I really liked Milk and Cheese, and I didn't know the guy did anything else. I know, didn't he do one of the superhero books too? Like he did a one shot or something. Dorkin did, and I can't remember what it was. And you didn't hear anything that I just asked.
No, I
Okay, yeah,
didn't.
looks like.
Eltingville.
Didn't Dorkin do a like a superhero story at one time? I can't remember if it was a one
Uh,
shot. I wish I could remember. This is when I was leaving comic books, so I can't recall.
That's a good question. I think probably to you know, these guys occasionally will do like a Batman story to keep the money rolling and so they can finance their
Their
pet
independent stuff.
projects. Yeah, but the
Right.
Eltingville Comic Book Science Fiction Fantasy Horror Role Playing Club. Um, I love. You know what? I'm going to keep this out and reread it. I could reread this every day the rest of my life and be happy. It's so funny.
Well, I'm glad that you that I reminded you of that book because I had
Yeah.
never heard of that.
Oh my gosh, Omar, you'd love this book. It's so funny.
I'm looking it up right now um, on Amazon and on InStock Trades to see what
Yeah,
the prices are.
it's dirt cheap,
Oh, and
really.
I forgot he co-created Beast of Burden, right, with Jill Thompson too.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, good. I'll leave that out and I'll reread that tonight. I'm happy to reread that.
yeah. So the Drunken Sailor is asking us the giveaway gonna stream next week, and I believe that's what we decided, right? Like the giveaway will be towards the end of the month, so it'll be next Monday. I was gonna say it's gonna be either next Monday or next Thursday. Thursday's the first, so I
Oh,
think we
so it
decided.
has to be next Monday?
Yeah. So the
Well, we
26th.
okay. Well, we need to figure out how we're doing it and how In Stock Trades is giving it to us and things like
Well,
that.
InStock Trades is going to email the winner. Like we just have
Okay.
to get the winner's email address. That's how that's going to work. How we do the show is up, or how we do the giveaway is up to us. I think
Okay.
Gabe wanted like to actually keep it within the chat for
Hmm.
at least for the first time
I
to
agree.
give the winner in the chat, one person in the chat, the $50 credit to InStock Trade. So yeah,
Hmm.
tune in next Monday for that.
And we
Uh,
promise we will have it all figured out by then. Sure.
you you are making false promises.
I know,
we're
totally.
we're gonna
Somehow
go
I'm gonna.
eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Not John
Yeah.
P. Where is that guy? I don't. The chat isn't as active when John P is not here.
Yeah, he changed his name
That's
to Cycle Cleveland or something like that. Cleveland Cycler, something. I don't see him in there right now. But he,
and John Wilson asked something important. Does that include non-US viewers? Since it's a code they're going to email you, John, it definitely includes non-US viewers. So it's a international giveaway. Everybody's
uh,
everybody's.
okay, good.
I think that's what. Yeah, we were talking on top of each other when we were announcing a bunch of the stuff when did our first. I think Riley might have mentioned it, but yeah, since it's just a $50 gift card, they're going to email you. You're not physically getting mailed anything. Open in international waters. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry,
Nice.
I am
Okay,
working on
good.
2 hours of sleep, and it's been a
Oh my gosh.
couple of days.
Yeah, no, and you've had a rough time. So,
But honestly, that gave me time to read because that's what I like to do. I mean, not that I like to do, but when things like this happen, I like to escape realism and dive into the world of comics. You know, my true escape. Ever since I was a kid, I would escape into the world of X-Men and mutants.
right.
So
Oops.
things
Lost
haven't.
you for a sec.
Oh, I was saying it's nothing has changed. Still, just the same thing.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. So, let's see. 15 minutes in, Gabe might be coming in through the door. Why don't we kick off the review?
Well, I can tell you what I read. I read besides Black Panther.
That's right. I'm sorry. I asked what you picked up. Besides Black Panther, what did you read?
I read the book recommended to me by Peter M. That's Generation X. I thought it was great. I know nothing about these characters, but it just dropped me right into it, and I accepted that it was Jubilee running the show for the new generation of X kids and all these weird new mutants, and I thought it was fun. I totally enjoyed it. Let me get some artwork here. I thought it was great. I hadn't caught up or been, I just jump in and out of X-Men. a fair weather fan, but I thought it was a lot of fun and I enjoyed it a lot. I especially dug Nature Girl, who has antlers growing out of her head and can commune with nature. I think she's my favorite. And of course, I hate Quentin Quire. So he's in there.
He's a character you love to hate, though.
Yeah, I do love to hate him.
That's why he's written that way. I wasn't a huge fan of the art. I know Peter M loved it because it's very independent looking.
Yeah.
We talked about like it looks like looking through like a fisheye almost, the way their faces are so close.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But you know, that's just me. The story itself I thought was okay enough.
Yeah.
I was glad to see I'm sorry. He's dead. Husk and Chamber in there too, and then M, which is now M Plate again. Somehow, I guess from the ending of X Factor until now, something happened, which doesn't have to be explained because, you know, comics.
Yeah. Don't hate.
What else did you read?
What did I say I hate? Don't hate, Jess. It's bad for your karma. What did I say I hated something? Oh, Quentin Quire. Okay, you're right. Yeah, I don't hate Quentin Quire. I just
hate Nazi.
I don't hate Quentin Quire. I just like to dislike him. I started Magneto by Cullen Bunn. This was great.
Mm-hmm.
Totally dug this. And
did you know any of Magneto's backstory previous to that, or like from, I guess, other than the X-Men movies, like particularly X-Men 2?
I know that I knew he was a Holocaust survivor. I knew about Genosha, and I knew about I think I knew it. Yeah, I know enough that I can understand it. I mean, they really turned him. I had forgotten how murderous he was, but they really turned him murderous in this. And he's doing quite, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but he's doing quite a lot of killing in this book.
Michael Curry, welcome to the chat. I'm so glad you figured it out. He said.
Oh, that's right. He couldn't figure it out for the longest time.
He's in there now. Cool.
All right. That's great. So, yeah, I'm digging this. There's 4 volumes, and I just read the first one, so I'm really happy about it that this first one was so good.
That's post-Bendis before the third X-Men. That is post-Bendis, right? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Never mind.
You're asking the wrong guy.
Where's Peter M when I need him? I haven't read that series, but I know that Riley and Peter M both really like it, and I was curious. So you don't know much about the character, but you really enjoyed it?
Yeah, I know enough about Magneto that I enjoyed it. I mean, I've read Magneto Testament. I've read some other books about him, and I know enough about him that I could enjoy it. I didn't go into this cold.
Yeah, Testament was a kind of a long, not drawn. I don't want to say drawn out because I actually enjoyed it, but it was like a retelling of the 2 classic X-Men stories from the backup X-Men classics, and I thought that was pretty cool. The Magneto storyline and stuff like that, and they made it into a complete miniseries, which I guess is the way storytelling is nowadays.
And then Black Panther reading that I did that wasn't required or homework was Black Panther Secret Invasion, because Riley read it and recommended it, and so I read it this morning, and I thought it was great.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't give him the character, because I love that series too.
Yeah, this was I love when the thing about Black Panther is he seems to have contingency upon contingencies. They always you always think, oh, he's screwed now, and it's always they're walking into exactly how he planned it. And I loved this story. There was I don't want to spoil it in case anybody's not read this yet, but things have a way of working out in it, and I think it's just bloody. I thought it was bloody brilliant the way they had this thing laid out. I like the art. The art was a little dark color palette, so sometimes it was hard making things out. But and it's that sort of little bit of scratchy art, scratchy art. But the Jason Aaron wrote it, and I thought Secret Invasion was. I thought this was a great issue, or a great book rather. Which leads us into our reading assignment.
All right, I guess Gabe will walk into the conversation as always. As Riley likes to call him, he calls him the Kramer of the Omnibros. But that's the beauty about Gabe, though. He could just walk in and like, that's what we're talking about. Just join right in. So what did you think? Because I think you and Gabe, we talked a little bit about this, and I think you and Gabe shared the exact same thoughts.
Yeah, Gabe and I both struggled with the Christopher Priest Black Panther run, and I'm really sorry about that because I really wanted to love it. You know, I bought all 4 volumes based on the fact that everybody said it was, so great. But I just, I had a hard time following it. It was told in a style that was kind of back and forth. It jumped between timelines, something that happened in the past, and the narrator, who is this guy Ross, was narrating it, and he was it'd be like, okay, and then I'm gonna get to this part of the story soon, but first I gotta tell you that part of the story so we can get to this part of the story. And I just had a hard time keeping up with it, quite frankly. It seemed like it was put together kind of muddled to me. And I know there's a lot of people that love this run, so obviously it's just one of those things where I wasn't getting it, and I like the humor in it, but I just wasn't getting it, and I feel bad about it because lots of people love it, and they said that Riley said that it really picks up starting in the 2nd volume, and I was just pretty so unhappy with it that I stopped reading comics for a week. I stopped. I didn't read anything last week. I was just like, God, I'm supposed to be enjoying this, and I'm not, and it's supposed to be so great. And I think I was just disappointed in myself that I couldn't get into it. So I just said, screw it. I'm not going to read anything for the rest of the week. So tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me how great it is.
Well, I'm not ever going to tell you you're wrong. You're entitled to your opinion, as wrong as you may be. See what I did there? I love this series. I thought it was great. I read it when it was when I was getting back into comics. So this was coming out at the time like Marvel Knights was being brought back. Like you had Welcome Back Frank, you had Bendis's Daredevil, Black Widow had a miniseries. I think Blade and Ghost Rider had a ongoing then canceled series. And I thought this was interesting because this is done in a way that I wasn't that familiar with Black Panther at all. Like I knew of his appearances in Avengers and then Fantastic Four. So I'm like, all right, well, let's see what Black Panther's about. And you've read these, and anybody that's read these will tell you, man, I really don't know who Black Panther is after reading the first few issues, but I know who the hell this guy named Everett Ross is.
Right.
Who is Martin Freeman's character in the movie, because it's done through his eyes, and it was so weird. And I remember digging it when it was coming out, so I'm reading it this time a couple weeks ago, and yeah, sure enough, I was struggling a little bit too, because it's kind of confusing. It jumps back and forth, like you said. You don't know where, the future, where it started, especially that first issue, which I assume they were just doing for sales, having all these previews. You have Mephisto show up. Then Everett Ross is walking around in his underwear. And there's all these little dry humor jokes in there, too. It's I want to say almost like anti-Bendis, where Bendis drops a joke and he keeps coming back. Priest, his writing styles, he drops a joke and then he moves on to action, and that's it. And whether you get it or not, doesn't matter. He moves on. What I liked about it, though, it was having said that I didn't get to know who Black Panther was, by the end of the first book, I was like, man, Black Panther's a complete badass. He stands for something greater than just the Wakanda nation. But I got that because I got to see it through Everett's eyes, who I guess represents us, the reader, and I thought that was really cool. But the payoff, I mean, hell, we don't even get to the the origin story until I think the fifth. Is it the fifth book? Yeah, I think the origin story where he goes to hell, which by the way was an awesome, awesome part because he ends up. I mean, how badass is that? He rips out Mephisto's heart.
Yeah, I did think that was cool.
Oh, so there are a lot of cool things that he does within the book that I'm like, oh, this is awesome. This is also, I think, I don't know, maybe somebody could correct me, but I think isn't this the first appearance of his, what are they called? The Dora Milaje, his wives, the woman
the wives
warriors.
in waiting that are his bodyguards.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Tell me you didn't like that, man. That was awesome. That was, oh, yes, Gabe's here. Knew you'd walk right in, brother. That was done by, what's her name? Your girl that does Harley Quinn. Jimmy Palmiotti and his wife, Amanda Connor.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I love the artwork too. I'm a big fan of Mark Texeria and Joe Jusco. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if he's a famous I think he's a famous fantasy painter, but I just knew him from like the Marvel cards, the trading cards.
Yeah.
So to me, he was like awesome. So it was really interesting to see his art, like especially in the fight with Kraven, which kind of confused me because I thought Kraven had been dead for a while. So it was kind of cool to see his sequential art within the book.
Mm-hmm.
So I dug that. What I didn't really like was, what is his name?
This guy, the villain right here, who's ridiculous with his puppet. That's what I didn't dig.
Yeah, and it's so weird because I was thinking about that too. Because he looks, I thought when I was rereading this, I didn't remember any of this. Like I was like, oh, that's obviously like the Joker, and he's gonna take him down, and that's not really what happens, right? Because you feel like you're reading two different books. That's the best way to describe it. You feel like he's taking over Wakanda, and he's not really interacting with T'Challa at all. But then it kind of comes together, and I think issue 12, it all is resolved. This guy's are manly, and I was a big fan of his, but he's like channeling this, I don't know, this kind of like oming and Batman animated series style that doesn't really fit the book. I really didn't dig this.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird too.
Other than Manly's run, I thought everybody else did a good job, and I guess the new penciler towards the end, Voluto, he's okay. It took a little bit to get used to over muscular characters, but I've always been a fan of Mark Texeria. But overall, I know you guys will probably disagree with me, but I enjoyed this a lot more than I did this, even though this was easier to read.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. This was dense, and I pushed myself through a few issues, but I think in the end, I'm glad I did because I got a better understanding of the character. I thought it was done really well in a unique style. Gabe, what did you think? We're talking about Priest.
Yeah, the Priest.
Who by the way, everybody goes on about. It's not just it's not just in the Facebook chat. I've always heard Priest is the definitive Black Panther writer. Why don't they have a Priest omnibus? Right?
Yeah. No, I hear that. I've always heard that about Priest. That Priest is the I'm gonna say like the quintessential Black Panther run is the Priest run. I've been hearing that for years. And then we decided to do this reading assignment, and we started with the Priest run, and I got about 5 issues into it, and I just couldn't deal with it anymore. I didn't like the guy's writing style. I hate stories that are just pure exposition, where it's really just one character, Everett, talking to his superior about what he saw Black Panther do. So it's this whole.
And that was even hard to read because sometimes it wasn't even him.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was somebody reporting to him.
Exactly. It's all like second-hand, like third-hand, like accounts of these badass Black Panther events. But that's the kind of story I just can't get into, especially I'm not a big Black Panther fan. I've known him from some Avengers stories, Fantastic Four stories, and stuff like that. But the Priest run was 100% not beginner-friendly, reader-friendly at all. Like the only thing that happened in that book was Everett describing this story about Black Panther and the devil giving him new pants. That's all I took away from that storyline. I couldn't deal with it at all. And I love Tex, dude. I love Tex. Like his Maverick storylines, the Sabretooth miniseries, all of his like Punisher stuff that he did was great. But this artwork on here was just not enjoyable. Like it was really dark and muddy, and the storytelling was very off. I think that might have been a product of the way it was written, but it really wasn't much for Texera to draw in forms of storytelling and sequentials. I just couldn't deal with it, man. If I had Rupert right now. But then on the other hand, like it's completely different spectrum, side of the spectrum for sure.
Well, okay, we'll go on to that. See, I think I kind of agree with what you're saying. I don't know, like if I went to the Black Panther movie and I read this, I don't know, like, and I never read a comic book, which by the way probably may not even happen because we live in a world where people don't really do that anymore, do they? They go see a movie and then they're like, I want to read comics.
See a movie. People don't go see a movie and go, oh, I'm going to read more about this character. They go to a movie and go, okay, well, when's the next movie coming out?
Yeah. You know? But let's say that, like, if I went to the movie and I was like, oh, Black Panther's really freaking dope. I want to know more about the dude. And I read this, I would be so confused because I'm like, I don't want to read about Martin Freeman's character. I want to read about Black Panther and what he thinks.
Yeah.
But I think
it's a story
really well.
And to me, comic books, I want you to show me the story, not tell it to me. That's my hardest problem with Priest's writing on this. I don't know if it picks up better in the end. It sounds like you loved it, Omar, and that's great. Maybe I'll pick it back up and push through. But it completely turned me off, 100%.
I think, I had read it previously before many years ago when I was coming back into comics. This is, my second read through of it, but it's been years and I don't remember any of the stuff. I mean, there's an issue where the Hulk shows up. Yeah, I dug it. I thought it was great. I'm glad I stuck through it because but I was much like you guys. I was like halfway through the book going, ugh, is this going to be like this? Is this guy going to narrate the whole thing? I honestly, I didn't remember that from the first read through. So I've only read the first volume. I will pick up the rest because of this book. I'm alone here. When hey, the tables have turned. You guys hate something.
Hey man,
I actually like it.
If you like it, man, you win. You win, dude. I like it when my friends find books they like.
Yeah, I don't. And it's like
I don't know if you guys talked about it before. I know Jess. I don't think you have yet, but Omar, did you see Black Panther yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I dug it. I thought it was great. I love the visuals. I don't want to give too much away, but I think Killmonger's one of my favorite villains in the Marvel DC universe. He was empathy, man.
He was pretty awesome.
God, I love
it. I like the twist. I like the twist when it came down to Killmonger.
That he was a chick the entire time. Oh man, Jess hasn't seen it yet.
But that's that. It's a Marvel movie. Of course, there's a twist. I mean, whatever. It's like, but I like how they put Manape into it, and then not crazy semi super racist way.
Visually, I thought it was stunning. I loved it. Yeah, I can't wait for Jess to see it, so we can all have a chit chat.
Yeah, I'll see it Wednesday, so we can talk about it Thursday, certainly.
Okay, so let's see. Let's talk about the books that you guys really enjoyed. Jess, you want to go first? Or no, Gabe, you just got here. Why don't you talk? What made this superior? Tell me.
Okay, so the Hudlin series.
Was it because you liked House Party? Is that why? Because I love House Party.
Did he write House Party?
Of course he did. How did you not know this? I think it even says so on the back, doesn't it?
He wrote House Party. Black Panther doesn't have a giant eraser head haircut. How am I supposed to know?
Love that movie. Yeah, I think he did House Party. Anyway, sorry, I'll look it up, but I think he's the one that wrote it. He was president of BET.
A gardening tool. Yeah. No, I mean the Hudlin series here. Like, if you're not a Black Panther aficionado and you just saw the movie, or if you're just interested in kind of getting familiar with the character before seeing the movie, And that's really what a lot of people comes down to. They want to just familiarize themselves and give themselves a little bit of a head start when they see these kinds of movies that are not in the comics. But this is absolutely the perfect ground floor starting point for anybody who's interested in Black Panther. You immediately in this story, you immediately get the history of Wakanda. You get the history and the savagery that happened and how Wakanda has never been overran or taken over or had the overthrown before. Through all these different types of wars, how they've always been leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else in technology and weaponry. You get the idea of the challenge every year where somebody has the right to challenge T'Challa to his title as king and as Black Panther. And all that is just absolutely perfect and leads you directly into the movie. And not just that, but I think just the story behind the Vibranium and Radioactive Man and Rhino and the Claw and just the story of T'Challa and Storm's relationship and their eventual marriage. I think this is definitely the best gateway drug or doorway to walk through for Black Panther. Like, this is seriously the best Black Panther stuff I've read outside of maybe like the original wacky Jack Kirby Wakanda stuff. But I don't know. What did you think, Jess? You seem to like it as well, right?
Yeah, I did. I can't actually add anything. You just explained it perfectly. I felt exactly the same way that you did. That this was much more new reader friendly because I've just read little bits and pieces of Black Panther. I've never really jumped into a big story about him before. And yeah, I agree with all your points. You hit all the high notes of what I would say. It was much easier for me to read and enjoy. And I don't particularly have a problem with JR's art. I know some people do. I'm not one of those. I think it's fine.
I think it fits the book. I loved it.
Yeah. And I just, it was so much, it was a much easier kind of flowing experience for me. It's just, I was able to read it and enjoy it. And it just went from one thing to another. And I didn't, just everything that was wrong, in my opinion, with the Priest book was everything that was right in the Hudlin book. So I just really, I felt like I understood things right away, as Gabe was saying. Just it explained everything right from the beginning, and you could just jump right in, and you just sort of went along. And I especially enjoyed his hunt for a wife at the end with Luke Cage as the rapper's bodyguard, and I thought that was fun. And then they end up going to bachelor party, and I just I don't know. I enjoyed it. I just enjoyed it more than I did the Christopher Priest book.
Yeah, I mean the art, like a JR was just so much more vibrant and moving and kinetic compared to Mark Texeira, who is very just painterly. But the simple lines that JR uses just really tells a story, and the colors are bright. And everything is clear, and you can see exactly what's going on. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I stopped Priest right in the middle, and I was like, I don't know, man. Let me just move on and see what Hudlin's about. And I was enamored with the Hudlin series. I couldn't put it down. Like, I couldn't wait to put down the Priest series, but it was the exact opposite for Hudlin. I just could not put it down. I wanted to just keep reading it. I brought it with me everywhere I went, where I would read it at Starbucks, and I would read it, whenever I had a chance for my kids sleeping, whatever. But the Priest stuff, I could care less about that book, man. That's, but I'm not here to, bring one person up by bringing down another person to run. But, Priest had its points, but the Hudlin stuff is the big winner. I absolutely loved it. I want to move on and get the other volumes of the Hudlin stuff for sure. And it's very movie friendly. Like this is the perfect book if you just saw the movie or you want to see the movie. It's great.
So you guys, okay, how do I word this without insulting you two?
Oh,
You
now
guys
you're
don't
worried
like-
about insulting us all
Now,
of a
yeah.
sudden?
Why are you worried about insulting us now?
Yeah, Jesus.
You guys don't like smart books. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're not.
I will say this reminded me of Bendis. The way that this was written, like just a little bit out of continuity. I wasn't in love with the dialogue. I did really enjoy John Romita Jr.'s artwork, though. And this is inked by Klaus Janson, which I hardly like because I think Klaus Janson just blocks him up more and makes it even more sketchier than it usually is. And actually, I liked everyone that is on this book. Scott Eaton. Oh man, I love that. And actually, my favorite artist on the book was only in it for like 4 pages, and I'm not a big fan of this guy unless he's doing this particular style. And this is what is his name? Is it Mayhew? It's Mike Mayhew, I think. Who's the guy that did the Spider-Man? Mary Jane gets a like radioactive spider spunk on her. This guy's art. Y'all remember that?
No.
Carrie Andrews?
Carrie Andrews. Thank you. Carrie Andrews. Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved it. Like he was only on it for like 4 pages, but I love this stuff. So this has the crossover with the X-Men, which was I never saw him being paired with Storm. I thought that was forced, but whatever. I'm a Forge Storm guy.
I think that makes sense. You know?
Yeah, sure, whatever. Her and Forge have been, off and on for what, 2 decades.
Okay,
He meets the King of Wakanda and what, Marvel Team Up 100 and
Yeah.
all these feelings. Come on, man.
Oh, sorry. That your poor Forge with the shitty powers can't stack up against a king of Wakanda.
He can make anything. Okay, that's his power. That's badass.
You couldn't make Storm stay around.
I don't know. Okay, so well, neither could T'Challa. So I guess that's one thing they have in common.
They're Eskimo brothers, man.
I really thought some of the stories were just silly, like the things that you all loved. So I maybe you guys maybe I take comics too seriously. Maybe that's my problem. Because when I read this, it was something unique that I hadn't seen in comic books or not done in this way, where you're getting the main character's story through someone else's perspective. This, you guys are absolutely right. You can jump in. There's, especially if you don't know anything about, the Black Panther. I think the first issue is called "Who is Black Panther," isn't it?
That's the first story arc, yeah.
Yeah, and it goes like Gabe said, it goes into the origin of Wakanda with great JR artwork. So I can see that, and it's, and another thing, this book was so quick to read. Like, I think I read it in like a day and a half because I had time to read. And
yeah, I mean,
this book is dense and requires like to actually sit there and pay attention to the panels and things because the payoff is good unless you ignore the things that are set up in previous issues. Oh, and that ridiculous storyline with Peter Milligan's X-Men crossover. Ugh. Anyway, good Salvador La Roca artwork though, even though I appreciate his penciled art better than his inked stuff. But I'm glad you guys liked it. So it's a yay for both of you, huh? And yeah,
definitely. I mean, I don't mind the stories of stories being told through a different person's perspective, but I don't think that's a good way to start a series off. That's not a number one issue to me. That could definitely be a second or third,
I think at the time,
fourth arc.
No, I see what you're saying, and I think at the time they were trying new things. Though it was Joe Quesada bringing in brand new blood. You had Bendis on Daredevil. You had all these new young guns doing.
Christopher Priest wasn't a young gun at the time. He's somebody else, and he changed his name. He's a longtime comic book writer.
I knew he had another name. By the way, I was looking at while you guys were talking, I was looking at Reggie Hudlin's other movies. That dude's actually done a lot of movies like Boomerang and House Party. I wonder how he feels like Marvel didn't ask him to direct the Black Panther movie.
Well, because they got Ryan Coogler who did.
No,
I
was a big fan of both that and Creed. So
Creed, yeah.
And he's in love with Michael B. Jordan, so.
Yeah, geez, so am I, man. Come on.
I like that kid when he was in The Wire. So yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm glad he blew up as much as he did. Okay, so good reviews, guys. So, yay. I'd say my vote is still to pick this up, but if you want a quick, easy reading, go for that.
You sound like somebody who's like trying to like defend Grant Morrison's writing. Oh, you just have to just pay attention to it more.
You've never heard me talk about Grant Morrison's new X-Men, have you? We'll
no, but I'm saying that is every other like review or prodigy of anybody who bows at the altar of Grant Morrison has those same exact guidelines for reading his stories.
Yeah, well, one day we'll have that talk.
That's fine.
All right.
Like I said, well, like Christopher Priest, he was originally James Owsley, and he wrote like Quantum and Woody and was a longtime editor on Spider-Man and stuff. So he's not exactly like new blood when this is coming out. He just changed his name. I'm probably breaking up, huh?
No, you're not. You said he changed his name.
Yeah.
I think we put Jess to sleep.
No, I'm here. I just like sitting back and watching you two go at it, so it's fine.
I will say that the Hudlin stuff had a couple like cheesy ass jokes in it, but outside of it, great.
Okay.
The Black Knight horse taking a shit on that lady as it flew away, like that was just weird.
See, that reminded me of Bendis in episode 1. Anyway. What do you guys want to do the books that are coming out? Oh no, Gabe, what did you read or what did you get? We went through that earlier.
Did you haul anything?
I didn't haul anything. Budget. I'm gonna say that keyword until everybody explodes. Because we had some long talks about that word being a trigger word all of a sudden. No, I'm still saving up for Gauntlets, the Gauntlet box sets. And I've been focusing more on reading. So I read the Hudlin and tried to read the Priest stuff. I also dipped into some Wizard magazine love and just went back into time a little bit, read a little bit about Ron Mars and his run on.
Now I know why you like the Hudlin. You're fully on Wizard magazine. Hey, by the way, I don't think we talked about this. Both of these copies were supplied by In Stock Trades, so thank you guys.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's it.
What did you learn? Did you hear a rumor that Kyle Rayner might be the new Green Lantern? Is that where we are?
I heard there was a surprise for him in the fridge when he gets home.
Ooh, that started a whole movement.
Yeah, this stuff is great fun, dude. I love reading old Wizard magazines. I mean,
hey, I was with you when I was 12 and 13, man. I agree.
Like, you got this awesome Zero Tolerance promo page in here.
So now this is going to show our age. So back before the age of the internet and before I went to conventions, I had no idea what these guys look like. I remember looking at the top 10 Wizard artists one time when they started doing it, and it blew my mind that Jim Lee was Asian, because I was like, oh man, I thought Jim Lee was like a little like Irish guy in my head for some reason. I don't know why. With some names, like Jim Valentino and things like that, I guess it made sense. But for some reason in my head, Jim Lee, the first time I saw him in Wizard magazine, I was like, oh, he's Asian. Actually, that makes sense. He's a damn good artist. So, you guys want to talk about the books coming out this Tuesday?
Sure.
You got the list ready. Does anybody have the list ready?
No, but give me 5 seconds.
While you look, have you guys ever read any of the Jack Kirby Black Panther stuff?
A long time ago. Not enough that I don't remember. I don't remember enough about it to be able to comment on it. It was so long ago that I read it. It seemed, I think it probably seemed a little clunky to me back then, but I can't really remember too much about it.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean that's still true because it's Kirby writing and stuff, so it's always gonna be a little clunky and odd. But it's good stuff too. It's really just, I mean, it's all the weird science future technology, that they try to put on Wakanda being. It's all really laid out and started in that Kirby stuff right there. Did you read it, Omar, or what's up?
No, I never read it. I was just curious if you guys did. But one of my favorite Black Panther stories is actually Jeff Johns' run on Avengers. It was called. Let me pull it out while you get the list ready. Red Zone. Did you guys read this? This is like one of my favorite Avengers stories. Mainly,
that's the stuff right before Disassembled, right?
Yeah, before Chuck Austin took over it. But there is this amazing, screw it. I'm going to give it away because this is old. But there's this amazing, Oliver Copiel did the art. This amazing fight where Black Panther takes his gloves off. He's fighting the Red Skull, and we all know the Red Skull's a Nazi, right? And he's like, I'm not going to let those hands touch me. And the Black Panther looks at him, and he's like, I'm going to break your jaw. And let me show you this amazing panel.
Oh, he just crushes him. That's great.
Oh, I love this storyline. It's so good. I'm surprised we didn't get an oversized hardcover. Yeah, Marvel had their chance. They could have kept Jeff Johns. They let him go. Replaced him with Chuck Austin. And DC picked him up.
Maybe the road of comics are better for it because that led up to him doing Green Lantern and Flash and.
Well, and then you guys wouldn't have enjoyed Avengers Disassembled because,
Yeah.
All right. And yes, Robin Year One is awesome. I love that book. I know there's a deluxe hardcover coming out, I think. Somebody was asking.
Yeah, tomorrow it does.
All right, Gabe, you got it ready, brother?
Yeah, let me just go ahead and screen share the previews catalog real quick here. Damn it. Screen share. Hey, everybody, it's Omar. Hey, everybody, it's the price list. Hey, everybody, here's previews. All right, so releasing for the week of February 21st. This marks the 2-week countdown to the Infinity Gauntlet box set.
We have a countdown now.
Awesome. I have a countdown. Yes, sir. All right. So Dark Horse, we're looking at Rebels, these free and independent states trade paperback. And that's it for Dark Horse this week.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, they're coming out swinging. DC Comics. We have DC Comics by Neil Gaiman. We have the Flashpoint Unwrapped hardcover with all that great Andy Kubert art. You get to see those in the raw pencils. Mother Panic Volume 2. Here we go. Teen Titans Omnibus hardcover Volume 2. That's the big pickup this week for sure.
Is that you have the in-stock order? Is that going to be 50% off at in-stock?
Let's see.
Look that up real quick because that's the one I'm curious about. If I were to
50% off, it's $75.
I love
it. No, I'm sorry. It's $75, so it's going to be $50.
Yeah, I got what you meant. Good.
I thought it was a $125 omnibus for a second or something.
It's usually like volume ones that they do 50% off, but I love when they keep going with this. Yeah. That Mother Panic looks really interesting, by the way. I've never read it. If you want to go back.
Yeah. I mean, no, it looks good too. A lot of people at the store have been picking up the singles and liking it. So.
And have you guys read it?
Not at all.
I haven't.
Same. I haven't either. It looks
interesting. For what is that going to be, like $8, $9? I think it's not a bad. Or well, you might want to read it from volume 1, but still.
I was a big fan of Robin Year One, though. I thought it was great, and also Batgirl Year One, and Superman President Luthor. I dug that.
No, wait. We skipped Robin Year One. Also, it's a hardcover. That's right. We were just talking about.
That's the oversized one. Mm-hmm.
That's great for $34.99. So in stock trades will have that for like what 15 or like 12.
It's 50% off. It's right underneath New Teen
Titans. So $17.50. That's awesome.
So is President Luthor is also 50% off. That's a good story. I like that. That was I think is it 50% off? Nope, I lied. It's 42% off. I am a liar.
Same with the Young Justice Volume 2, which is a great book, and I think 42% off is.
And I think everybody needs to keep buying those books so they keep pumping them out because they are a wonderful, wonderful read. If you've never read Young Justice,
it's a long series. What is it, like 100 plus issues, right? So we need all.
It was like 70. If anything, it was like maybe 70 issues, including the specials. So it could be done in like 5 volumes. 5 or 6.
Way, we've got to keep it going.
And unfortunately that's the way DC works. You have to buy them. You have to pre-order this stuff in order to get them, or they cancel your favorite titles.
That's crazy. How dare they put stuff out based on the sales of the previous volume. That's stupid.
I know.
What are they trying to do? Make money?
Shut up. Scroll down.
IDW's got a Popeye, great comic book tales, trade paperback.
It's a cool cover.
Yeah, I like it. Whatever Relic the Dragon is. Star Trek TNG Mirror Broken trade paperback. Image, second volume of Genius, which is a really cool book. I do recommend the first volume. But second volume's out, so that's a great book. Ghost Station Zero. Down to Marvel, a lot of X-Men stuff coming up. It looks like we have all new Wolverine trade paperback volume 5.
Mm-hmm, yes.
Jess has been loving that book. I know, and
Good.
I'm going to read it myself, but I'm kind of waiting for a hardcover for it.
And E. Tyler, thank you. I knew it wasn't that long. So 55 issues.
Oh,
so
really?
it turns out to be
longer. Okay.
56 issues, and then they have miniseries and stuff. Sorry.
Astonishing X-Men by Charles Soule, Volume 1. This is, I think we talked about it on the show. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's like a return of a certain character.
I think we've already spoiled it a few times. Okay. Yeah, the return of young Professor X, whatever. No young walking
Professor X /
Phantom X.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, I think you and I might be the only ones excited for that.
I love that they're continuing the Cable franchise or the Cable.
Highlight that for a second. What issues? Oh, yes. 49 to 56. Man, we're getting so much Cable this year.
Yep. And as well as an X-Men issue and the X-Force Cable Annual 95.
Look at that horrible Ian Churchill cover. Oh,
beautiful Ian Churchill cover. That thing is fucking sweet.
Oh man, that guy is like a third-rated Jim Lee. I never liked Ian Churchill. Never got onto that.
Oh man, I love this stuff, dude. Look at that. Look at that gun. Like for no reason. I think it's just offensively large.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, keep going. No one cares except me and you.
Yeah. Excalibur Epic Collection trade paperback Cross Time Caper.
Yeah, keep them coming, Marvel. I'm surprised they went with that instead of something they haven't reprinted before. Like post
especially the Epic line. Just random.
No, the New Mutants stuff, man. They reprinted. They did one, and then the next one that came out comes out is the Valkyrie stuff that has never been reprinted. And honestly, that is if you own the hardcovers, the Omnis, and the Classic Collection, and then the Cable and X-Force books, you have every single issue of New Mutants on your shelf now with the release of the next epic. And that is cool. But
none of the spines are going to match.
Yeah, well, I stopped being OCD a long time ago, obviously.
And then we got Invincible Iron Man, Ironheart, Volume 1. This is the introduction of Riri Williams taking over the Iron Man suit and that title for a while. Marvel Legacy hardcover. Does this print just the Marvel Legacy #1? I think so.
No, it's got other stuff, right?
Oh wait, no, it's got Marvel Legacy 1, Marvel Legacy Premiere pages or Primer pages, Foom magazine.
Wow, $40.
Yeah,
that's expensive.
What's it going for on IST?
I'm hoping $5 for that, like that much content.
Well, especially considering you get like the normal issue for Marvel Legacy is still probably for like $6. 50%.
I don't know, man.
$20, bro.
Their prices are just ridiculous sometimes.
Yeah, well, no one says you have to buy it, son.
I'm just saying. Damn, Marvel. Slow your roll.
Runaways is still going hot and steady with the Volume 9 trade paperback. This is the
Terry Moore and Humberto Ramos, I think, started that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Give me a second here.
What was that? That woke me right up.
Oh, he's getting a call to make a drop somewhere. And now we're gonna get infinite shit. Now when you talk, it's gonna pop up on his screen.
There's
Well,
Omnipool says, "Hey Omar, there is a hardcover of Avengers Red Zone."
yeah, there is. He's absolutely right, but I don't think it was oversized. It was just your standard like Marvel Premiere, sadly.
Mm.
Because I'm surprised, like I said, they never did it because that and World Trust would have been a nice hardcover. Oh, and he also did the Search for She-Hulk. So putting that on there would have been cool, man. Because all like having the complete Jeff Johns in one hardcover, and we don't need to collect the Chuck Austin run, even though it had nice Oliver Copiel artwork. But yeah, I highly, if you've never read that book, I'm sure you can find it really cheap. Red Zone is one of the best Avengers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's old school kind of Avengers story, man. It's awesome. I love it. Oh man, how is Gabe missing the chat? Doomfella just said Stephen Platt might be the best comic artist of all time. I think Gabe would agree with you. I will say.
I didn't know I was muted this whole time. Yeah, he's absolutely correct.
I told you.
Stephen Platt is wonderful. God damn it. He needs to come back and do comics again. All right, so either way.
His older style was better. I like that that big Liefeld mix with McFarlane, Del Keown kind of style that he had going when he was doing like Moon Knight, and then he went on to do like those first few issues of Prophet. Because then he kind of changed his style a little bit. I didn't dig it as much.
He did Prophet from like issue 4 on, and then he did like Soul Saga and just badass stuff like that. Yeah, he's great. Anyways, so after Runaways, Secret Warriors trade paperback volume 2.
Mm-hmm. I haven't read that.
Everything else, I haven't either. I'm not.
It's the new Secret Warriors run, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's not the Hickman stuff, right? Yeah, it is Secret. I have. Oh, it's Matthew Rosenbaum, though. You guys seem like him, right? Matthew Rosenberg.
Yeah, I mean, I like this. He's a nice guy, and he was at the store, and I really enjoyed Phoenix Resurrection.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty good. So
I loved the beginning. I did not like the middle, and I ended up liking the end of Phoenix Resurrection. That's my review. Okay.
Fair enough.
So what else is next? What else is down there on that list?
This is all the weird anime Japanese porn stuff.
There we go. Lump us all together. Lump us all together.
You got Invader Zim. You got Umber, which is nice to see. Avatar finally put something out again. It's been forever. They still need to send me and Jess our slip covers of all the
yeah, what's going on there? I keep forgetting that we did that. It's like a couple of years now, it seems like.
I'm gonna have to look at the Kickstarter and see if they have any updates, but hopefully soon. And that's it. That's it for what's going on being released tomorrow at.
Good to see that Mickey Mouse voice set or the box sets are still coming out. And hey, scroll all the way to the bottom for me, real quick, please. I think I saw something there that. Yeah, so Voices of a Distant Star is one of my favorite anime I've ever seen, and the manga, I guess, is based on the anime because I think he did the anime first. It's usually the way that what's his name, Shinkai's stories go. It's awesome, and it's like 20. If you guys get a chance, you should watch it. I know you're not really into anime, but it's only like 25, if that, 25 minutes long, and it's about a like young schoolgirl that gets pulled into.
Sounds bad already.
A like intergalactic battle where she has to fight. She gets on a robot and she has to fight, like going through space and time. But meanwhile, she's keeping text messages with her boyfriend on Earth, and the text messages are taking longer and longer to get to each other. Like, you know, it starts off like a day, like, and then it's like months, and then it's years, and then I don't want to spoil it, but by the end of it, it's kind of sad what happens. But it's really good.
All right then.
Okay.
And that's it. So go in and check out istinstocktrades.com tomorrow and pick up those great books at a great discount. All right. So are we up for just some questions and answers to the end of the show?
Sure.
All right. All right, everybody. So here's everybody's favorite part when you can ask us anything. Ask us collecting questions, personal questions, random ass questions. Random ass questions might be fun. But go ahead and put it up in the chat, everybody, and we'll see what's going on.
Any chance we will see a S Platt episode of Omnibros?
It'll be just me by myself, and nobody wins.
Jess, did you buy Herbie Archives Volume 3? I did. I found them used like new on the internet today for cover price, so I grabbed a copy of it. Sam, you started something huge, a huge wave of interest in Herbie. You yourself are solely responsible for that.
I haven't seen those posts on the group, and I saw you guys chatting about it in the chat as well. It's always fun to see.
Yeah, we spent about 20 minutes on that yesterday. Luis and I did.
Gabe, what does love feel like? It's that delicious feeling when you eat birthday cake Oreos and fudge Pop-Tarts. That's what love feels like.
What are the best Supergirl runs? I think the Sterling Gates and the Peter David runs are good.
What was that Batman Superman run where she was like evil and under the control of Darkseid for a while?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Batman
awesome.
Superman. Yeah, that was good too. Yeah, I know. That was the last copy of Volume 2 at all. That's why I grabbed it up so quick.
You know, you grabbed that Damage one off of InStock, right?
Right. Do you guys ever think there will be a Latino superhero movie?
Yeah, we already had that. It was what was what was that Jack Black movie where you played the Mexican wrestler? Either that or La Bamba. It's already happened.
Did Gabe already leave?
Omar?
Omar? Did Omar take off? He said he was...
took off or he just turned off his camera. I don't know if he's got something going on or what.
He said he was only going to be able to stay about an hour.
Okay. Well, he didn't say bye, fucker.
Yeah. So maybe he's still there.
Yeah, Nacho Libre. That's what I'm talking about. I would love a Blue Beetle, like a TV show or movie, but he was in Young Justice, and they just made him just the most corniest, stereotypical Hispanic kid who said Holmes like every other word, and essay, and nobody talks that way. Somebody wants us to take a tour of InStock Trade's headquarters. That'd be great if they would let us do that.
Just I saw you haul Regression one time. Did you ever read it? No, I haven't read it yet. I started last night, and it's some crazy insect horror gore mashup. Ooh, I know right where it is. It's upstairs in the auxiliary part of the Batcave. Yeah, Regression. I'll have to read that this week. That sounds good. Just what's your favorite Velvet Underground moment? The whole Banana Peel cover album, I love that. I love that album. That's my favorite moment. The Banana Peel album. Michael Curry, yeah, I did get Volume 3 today online of Herbie. So I should have all three coming in about the same time. Thoughts on Divinity by Valiant. Excellent run. Have you read that at all, Gabe?
Much of the Valiant stuff. I have all the hardcovers. but I haven't had a chance to read them yet.
Yeah, Divinity's great. Michael Curry, I got it for cover price. It was a used copy. It was described as very fine plus. So,
Is that one out of print now?
Yeah, volume 3 is the hard one to find of Herbie Archives.
No, I'm talking about Divinity. I thought you said Divinity was.
Oh no! Divinity just came out. Divinity.
Oh, you guys are still talking about that crap? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you see that the Madman Gigantic is getting reprinted and all those?
Oh, I didn't see that. Gargantua.
Yeah, it was on the group. So yeah, breaking news. Those are getting reprinted. Both of them.
Oh, Anatomica.
Are they getting reprinted? I thought they were just newer.
That's what library somebody put in the group. That Mike Allred had that on his Twitter or something.
Oh, good. That's great for people.
Not the people that were just dropping $300 on that thing last week.
That is true. That is a mistake.
Is that gonna be? Was that Dark Horse or Image that did that?
Image.
Okay, I couldn't remember who did it.
Yeah.
I'm looking through the chat. Sorry, guys, I had to step away for a minute.
No, that's fine.
Cool, man.
I hope we get a Mark Waid, Mike Wieringo Fantastic Four omnibus. That would be great, especially now that he's back Marvel. I have the hardcovers, and I will definitely double dip because that's probably one of my favorite. Up there with Burns' run on Fantastic Four and Hickman's run. It's up there. It's so good. And to me, it was a really great jumping on point.
So Mike Allred said a new fancy schmancy hardcover library collecting everything is in the planning stages from Image Comics. That's what his response.
Okay.
So it's not a reprint then.
Right. That's his response to somebody asked if Madman, Atomica, and Gargantuan will be reprinted.
Nice.
It's probably not going to get reprinted or moving on is probably Bendis' Powers. Now that he moved all of that to DC with him.
Well, I mean, he still owns them, right? So I guess technically couldn't Image or somebody print them?
Right, but then they would probably, I would think they would just pick up at volume 2. They would probably start at volume 1 again or something, if anything.
Mm. Mike F., that is a good question. That's a lot of people have been asking that. I'm surprised. Honestly, the only way I see that book being reprinted, and I could be completely wrong, is if they actually have an X-Force movie coming out. He's asking about if he should get the Uncanny X-Force trade paperbacks or wait for the omnibus. It's one of those tough choices. How long do you wait it out? Because with Marvel, sometimes these things, when they get reprinted, make absolutely no sense. Like, how many times, like Fantastic Four, the Silver Age stuff, how many times has that been reprinted? 3 times now?
Yeah. Same with, like,
Spider-Man went through reprintings. Uncanny X-Men, Giant Size stuff, the Claremont stuff, I think that went through a couple of printings. New X-Men had 2 printings. Alias had 2 printings. And it's just, the theory was that, if a movie or a TV show is coming out, then Marvel will surely release these omnis. And then, we have things like Iron Fist that comes out. Now, granted, that show kind of sucked. Not kind of. You can leave that word out.
Yeah.
But, we didn't get a reprint of the Iron Fist, the Immortal Iron Fist omnibus. That has been long out of print. So it's hard to tell. But if it's something you're looking for, I'm tell you the same thing I tell anybody else, man. If you see it at a store for cover price, grab it. But if you've got the money, I'm not going to down anybody. But if you've got the money and you want to spend it, then more power to you, man. But
if you want to read the story, you can go ahead and just pick up the trades or whatever completed edition that you could find and read it. And they reprint the omnibus, then you could, I'm sure you could sell those and help kind of bring that back and use that money towards a reprinted omnibus. So,
aren't the so-called deleted scenes in classic X-Men really just Claremont pulling a George Lucas? Allow me to answer that. No,
please do.
hell no.
here,
No,
Omar, I'll
no.
hold your beer, brother. I'll hold your beer.
No, okay. So what that really is, think of this is the way I did a video review on my channel of it, and the way I actually compared it was, don't think of it like a director's cut of Star Wars, but think of it more like a director's cut of Aliens, the James Cameron cut, which is the only way to watch Aliens because it's so far superior and you get so much more out of it because these stories are what really flesh out these characters. And I could go on for 20 minutes about this because I did on my video. I had to edit it. But like a lot of the things that happen later on in X-Men, you're like, I don't remember that. Or like, why are Storm and Jean Grey so close? Like, it makes no sense. This came out of nowhere. But not really. A lot of that was in those backstories. How Jean and Ororo got really close was in those backstories, like when they shared an apartment and stuff together. It was really cool. Or like the first fight between Wolverine and Sabretooth. That was all in a flashback. And they talk about it in the regular issue. So you feel kind of lost without reading these. I'm not telling you to go out and buy a $125 book. But if you like X-Men, you totally should.
Make Havoc. What's up, dude?
Good old Make Havoc, man. Good guy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I think next month is going to be a pretty big month, right? So we get the Infinity Gauntlet slipcase. I think Absolute Wildcats comes out next month. I think March is supposed to be a pretty heavy month for everybody, right?
Oh, you mean it's a heavy month for you?
What, you're not going to buy the Wildcats on Absolute, Omar?
You damn right I am.
Oh. I know you were, man. Come on.
You know I am. You know I am.
I think it's going to be awesome. But are you going to get the slipcase, the box set?
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that? The Wolverine.
You going to get the Infinity Gauntlet box set?
No. I like my oversized Omni, and I have a lot of those stories already in trade paperback, which is the same size as these hardcovers that are coming out. So I'm gonna pass on that one. I know both of you guys are gonna get it, so that's awesome. I will live vicariously through both of you. Like
Yeah.
Somebody, hold on, let's see. The added pages are often good, but it's revisionist, right? Oh, like there are pages that he redid, but then there are also additional content, like 15 to 20 or 7 to like 15 pages of additional content. So some of the pages he redid, and that kind of stopped this, going back to classic X-Men, that kind of stopped after a few issues of classic X-Men. It only went on for like 15 or so issues. And then what the real meat in here is the actual additional stories that John Bolton did. And Jim Lee even drew one of them too. I think he drew one of the lamest story. I think like Storm went shopping or something. That's what he drew. But it's Chris Claremont, so I'm good. And then also like Anna Santi and people like that wrote some of these backup stories. Fabian Nicieza. That's where you really get the good stuff. It's the actual additional content that was never previously released or revision. And this was not editorial mandate. This was Chris Claremont's actual vision to flesh out his stories. There is one thing that when Colossus visits the Savage Land for the second time, there's this girl that kind of hints that they had a kid together. And this girl, this is in Annual 12, by the way, this girl pops out of nowhere. And if you've never, and I considered myself like a big X-Men fan as a kid, but I never got those classic X-Men books except for the first few because I was like, well, I don't need to read them. I've already read them. I didn't know that the 15, like one of the stories in the back, when the first time they go to the Savage Lesson is when Colossus hooks up with this chick that has a mohawk. Now it makes sense. Like, I'm like, oh, that's where she came from. I thought I was missing an annual or like a Marvel team up or something stupid like that. Yeah, the revisions were okay, Melanie. They were mainly done to like modernize the stories, like leave out years and things like that. Like I think the one in particular that stands out is Storm, where they wanted to focus more on her claustrophobia and less on the years that like her village got bombed and stuff like that.
I'm new to the Omni books. Is there an Omni version of Shazam in any form? Not to my knowledge.
Nope. I've
Not
only
in
seen.
the Omnibus form, but there's like archives, and then there's that Shazam hardcover from New 52, but nothing omnibus like.
And that's Shazam 52 New 52 hardcover. It was just the backups on the JL Justice League, right? Jeff
Right.
Johns Justice League.
Yeah.
I've only seen custom binds. That's it. Of like the Power of Shazam by Jerry Ordway.
Isn't there a oversized hardcover for the Monster Society book that the guy that did Bone did with Shazam?
Oh, Jeff Smith.
Oh, yep. You're right. Jeff Smith's I think you're right. That was an oversized hardcover.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really it. I have it. So yeah, I see it right there. So yeah, Monster Society of Evil by Jeff Smith. But nothing omnibus like, nothing that is like the top premium format with massive collection of a large run. I'm ready to call it a night if you guys are.
Yeah. I'm really tired, guys.
Yeah,
I'm sure. I can hear my kids freaking out downstairs. I need to go see what's going on.
Well, if you want to save up to 50% on your comic book trades or oversized hardcovers, if you want to get them bomb-proof packaging with great customer service, over $50 gets you free shipping in the continental United States. Where would you go to find all that, Gabe?
I would go to InStock Trades, everybody. InStockTrades.com.
Brilliant. Our wonderful sponsor. And Omar, where can they find you if they want to find you on the interweb?
There is a website called nutsandbutts.com.
Wow, nuts and butts.
Whoa. I did not expect that.
I'm pretty down, but I can't change who I am.
Right now.
Let's see. Near Mint Condition is the name of my YouTube channel, guys. There was somebody asking if I can explain Alita, the Battle Angel series. I would love to, but I think we're out of time. But I did do a video of the first hardcover released by Kanancha. If you want to check it out, it's on my channel, Near Mint Condition. Plugging in it again.
And Gabe, where can they find you and all your social media glory?
They can find me here on YouTube as Gabe Infinity Watch. I'm on Instagram as Gabe Infinity Watch as well, and find Omnibroslive on Instagram as well. And I'm on the Facebook group with everybody else, having verbal fistfights with people. Not really.
I think it's a pretty friendly group. You know, we stay clear of that stuff.
Oh yeah, there's none of that in there really.
For the most part, yeah. You can find me, OmniDog, at OmniDog's Vault on YouTube, and on Instagram, OmniDogs_Vault. That's OmniDogs_Vault. So thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate you guys watching, and if you could give us a like or subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I have subscribed finally to our own channel. Yeah.
That's to put us over to 900.
So thanks everybody. This was a great show, and we appreciate you watching.
One more thing, don't forget next Mondays when we're doing the giveaway for the $50 gift card open to international waters.
Right. And are we starting the planetary read now?
Sure, let's start it then. We'll announce maybe next week when we with Stu. It's kind of a big book too.
Yeah, I haven't even opened it. I haven't started it yet. Fuck.
Well, no, yeah, I just want to make sure we get a head start. I just get a head start on it whenever it's due.
Yeah, that's our next reading assignment. Will be planetary. So we're going to shoot for that towards the end of March when we talk about it.
Okay. Well, we got plenty of time then.
This is the end of. This is the last. This is the last episode for. No, this is the last episode for February. Either way, we're going to do the end of March.
Don't rush it, man.
No way, fool. We might even have to push it back. Who knows? Because it's only 27 issues, but that's just a really large omnibus.
Yeah, but it was kind of text heavy. Okay, well, gentlemen, always a pleasure. Thanks for having me on. You guys cheered me up, and it was good talking about something else.
No, man, it's good to see you here, man. I'm happy-ish.
I will see you guys on Thursday.
All right, man. Have a good night.
All right, take care.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Peace and love. Peace and love.